APC will put in a national data system that will capture details of every Ghanaian.
In sports later,
Ghana striker Tariq Fosu revealed some reasons behind the Black Stars 5-1 win over Qatar in a friendly match yesterday. Details when I join you much later with sports.
And I want to hear from you tonight. 055-11-11-997. We'll also hear from the minority side in Parliament on the back of the decision announced by the Interior Minister today that MPs will get bodyguards round the clock. In the future, 800 in all will be provided, 3 bodyguards to 1 MP. Share your thoughts with me. 055-11-11-997. My name is Evans Mensah. I want to start with the president tonight, who has some good news for pensioners retiring this year. This is because President Akufo-Addo has directed the Social Security and National Insurance Trust to pay lump sum in full. He says when he handed over a newly refurbished building to the union leaders in Accra. Before we listen to the president, the TUC is raising issues about what it describes as the unfairness in the payment of lump sum by the Social Security and National Insurance Trust to workers retiring this year. So what is the issue at stake? Presidential correspondent Elton Broby has been digging into this and joins me with details. Tell us more about this payment and why some workers have been left worse off.
So according to President Akufo-Addo, on August 24, he received a petition from the Trade Unions Congress. And in this communication to the presidency, they reviewed that among Tier 1 and 2 benefits paid to people who retired this year, those who received their benefits under the National Pension Act 2008 got an average of 3 times lower than their counterparts who retired under PNDC Law 247. Now, the lower benefits received under Act 766, according to the statement, are so widespread as they have affected workers in all sectors of the economy, including teachers, nurses, media practitioners, and staff of the ministries, departments, and agencies. The disparity, according to TUC, are in spite of the similarities in the ranks attained, salaries earned, and the number of years one worked and contributed to the scheme prior to retirement. So this is the background to this particular subject.
Okay, so what's the assurance from the president exactly?
So according to President Akufo-Addo, when he received the petition, he directed the minister for the senior minister to look into this and then advise government on the way forward. Now, TUC raised some examples to buttress their point. For example, according to them, a nurse who retired as a deputy director of nursing services in the Upper West Akim district in the Eastern region, and they will not disclose the name. And according to them, this nurse had worked for 38 years, contributed to the pension scheme for 504 months, but rather received 16,000 as a lump sum going home, made up of 10,000 as past credit under Tier 1 and 6,000 from Tier 2 in investment. On the other hand, her subordinate, who retired last year as community health nurse, was paid 62,000 Ghana cedis. So you can clearly see the difference. Somebody who retired as a director went home with 16,000. Her subordinate is going home with 62,000. They think that probably SNIT may not have done their calculations well. That may have resulted in these people receiving 3 times lower than they were expecting. President Akufo said he directed the senior minister to look into this, and what they've come forth with is to direct SNIT to pay back the differences, and so that going forward, lump sums that have been earned by the retirees are paid, and this is taking effect from January 1 to December 31st, 2020.
As president has always been to find accommodation for matters of concern to the Trades Union Congress and try to find ways to address them on a mutually satisfactory basis. One of such matters has to do with the letter of 24th of August 2020 sent to me by the Secretary General on behalf of the Trades Union Congress, requesting my intervention to, and I quote, correct the injustice and unfairness in the implementation of the three-tier pension system, unquote, and resolve the issue of past credit for public sector workers who retired from January 2020. I refer the matter to that outstanding public servant, the senior minister, the Honorable Yao Osafo Mafu, who after careful study and extensive deliberation has laid out the position of government in this matter. To assure the public sector labor organizations of our good intentions, government through SNCC would pay the difference in the lump sum payments between beneficiaries of PNDC Law 247 and those of Act 766 for those retiring in 2020 with effect from 1st January 2020 to 31st December 2020. A committee will be established to supervise the implementation of this decision.
So that's the president. We'll be speaking shortly to the TUC and CLOCSAG on this matter. They've been agitating for some time now on this. But Elton, let me stay with you because the president at the same event addressing the TUC talked about the elections and what he expects when it comes to security.
So obviously we are heading towards the elections. So every event that the president attended, he's decided to now focus more on the need to maintain peace before, during, and after the elections. So for him going into 2020, he's had discussions with the security heads, and he's given them his full backing to be impartial in the discharge of their duties, regardless of the political parties that they'll be dealing with. But for him, the political actors must reject violence and rather work to ensure that the country, democratic credential is intact as we head towards the home stretch as far as this particular election is concerned, and also beyond.
On the larger issue of the peace of our nation in these sensitive times, let me assure you of the wholehearted efforts that are being made by my government and I to ensure the peace and stability of the nation as we enter the home stretch of the electioneering campaign. I'm calling on all political actors and the citizenry as a whole to commit themselves to a peaceful process and to forego any resort to violence. The Inspector General of Police and the other heads of the law enforcement agencies have made abundantly clear their determination to enforce the laws of the land, including the law banning vigilantism, in an impartial, even-handed manner, without recourse to political color, to secure the peace of the nation. I support fully their attitude and will give them my maximum backing. Indeed, I have over the years demonstrated my commitment to maintaining the peace and stability of our nation on several occasions. In 2008, I accepted the results of a closely fought election, which was won by the slimmest of margins, some 40,000 votes, without asking for a recount. Again, in the disputed elections of 2012, I protested the outcome in the highest court of the land, and after proceedings that lasted 8 months, I accepted an unfavorable verdict, called on my followers to respect the decision of the court, and Ghana came out with her democratic credentials enhanced and the peace and stability of the nation maintained. We in the New Patriotic Party have proved to the world that we were willing and able to submerge our individual and partisan preferences for the common good. We demonstrated clearly that it was not the ambitions of Akufo-Addo nor the fortunes of the MPP that we sought to promote. The stability and progress of Ghana and the enhancement of her democracy were the paramount considerations that guided our very action.
Well, it turns out that the Inspector General of Police himself, Mr. James Opombo, of course, who is going to supervise the election security this year, is in the Bono East region, gauging the level of preparedness of his men ahead of the December 7 polls. Now, he indicated that the police will be beefing up security at some of the identified flashpoints in the region. Listen to him.
Is to assess the operational readiness of the police in the region. As you have seen, there have been simulation, and that's a copy of what is going to happen on that day. We will assess them when we meet them. There are challenges, and we are going to address their minds to that. Apart from that, we'll meet the personnel and find out whether they have any challenges that will militate against them before, during, and after the election. If there are any challenges, if there are any shortfalls, we'll try and address them. We'll also meet with stakeholders. I've already met the regional minister, the honorable regional minister. I've met with the Omahine and his chief. There are other stakeholders that will meet. And when we meet them, the message we carry to them is that they should help the police in providing security for the community before, during, and after the election. They can help us by advising the youth, particularly, to avoid violence and to avoid doing anything that will mar the peace and security of this area. Any kind of operation, you look at your strengths and your weaknesses, you assess the hotspots in this case. So all the hotspots are specifically delineated, they have been identified, and we are going to beef up security in those areas. We provide standard security for the normal areas, and the area that we have identified as hotspots, we're going to ensure that we prepare adequately for those areas.
Well, this is your election headquarters now to the governing MPP now, and they're asking the Member of Parliament for Fomena constituency, Andrew Amankwa Esiama, to, with immediate effect, abdicate his seat in Parliament. The reason is the party is arguing the MP automatically relinquished his seat after filing to seek re-election as an independent candidate, citing Article 97 of the Constitution. In fact, they say they have written to the Speaker of Parliament already to trigger that clause that may force him to abdicate his seat in Parliament. Well, tonight the party General Secretary John Boydu has issued an official notice, not only to this particular Member of Parliament, but to all members of the party who recently filed to go independent. The party says they have revoked their membership of the party with immediate effect. My colleague Parker Wilson joins me with details of this. Parker, fascinating development in the MPP. What more do we know?
Right, so as you mentioned, the party indicated in their statement that they've noted that the Member of Parliament for Fomena constituency who was elected to Parliament on the ticket, and it's instructive to know that on the ticket of the party has filed to contest as independent parliamentary candidate. Now, by so doing, he has presumably vacated his seat in Parliament pursuant to Article 97. Now, the party goes on to tell us what exactly Article 97 is, and let me quote what it says. It says, a member of Parliament shall vacate his seat in Parliament if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament to join another party or seek to remain in Parliament as an independent member. So these are excerpts of the party statement.
Okay, let's bring in John Boydu, who is the General Secretary of the party, joins us on the telephone line right now. I'm grateful that you joined us on the telephone line. We understand that you've written already to the Speaker on this. Do you have a response to the petition, to the letter you written to the Speaker?
Yeah, thank you very much. To your specific question, we've not yet received a response from the Speaker.
What about your member who is in Parliament as your member of Parliament?
We've not heard from him. Initially, this move was initiated by the regional party in Ashanti region. His attention was drawn to Article 3(9) of our Constitution. That says that a member of the party who stands as an independent candidate against the officially elected member of the party, or who joins or declares his or her support for another political party or for an independent candidate when the party has sponsored a candidate in a general or by-election, automatically forfeits his or her membership of the party. And his attention was drawn to this part of our Constitution. He was invited severally to explain to us and also draw his attention to the fact that if he decides to file against the official candidate of the party, he automatically forfeits his membership. So we are only drawing the attention and notifying the general public that all those who will also follow suit forfeit their membership automatically.
But we'll come to the membership of the party, but the one that has to do with him abdicating his seat in Parliament is a serious one. But there are also constitutional limitations on if he vacates, that what it means then, of course, that the constituents will not have a representative there. And remember that they have to hold a by-election. The constitutional injunction, a number of days you can do so to an election. All that plays into what will practically happen with your letter to the Speaker and asking him to abdicate.
I think that it is also clear that I think within 60 days to election, it will be difficult to, if a member resigns or dies or vacate his position, as in this case, to have a by-election. So that is clear. The only thing that we want to send across is that you join a party based on your understanding and your agreement of what the constitution of the party is. So you don't renege on that and decide to do things on your own. You also have the national constitution that also is clear that if you are elected to represent a party in Parliament, you have no right to either decide to be an independent candidate or join any other party or even cross carpet. And this is clear. We've had several examples of it happening in our fourth Republican constitution and dispensation. I think that we just want to send a clear signal to all that the party is not going to countenance a situation where members of our party decide to go independent with the thinking that if they win, they will join the party in Parliament. There's no way the party is going to countenance that. We also
but you've tolerated that before in the past. In the case of the second Deputy Speaker the first Deputy Speaker of Parliament, so why shouldn't they follow suit?
I think that we need to draw the lines very clear. In those days we didn't insist on the strict constitutional position. We are saying that, and we said this abundantly, that we are not going to entertain and continue to encourage members to go that route. And I think that it's important that we make that clear. We are also using this opportunity to also thank some of our members of Parliament who indicated their intention to contest as independent. And at the end of the day, when we judge or when we had discussions with them, many of them rescinded their decision. And one typical example is Honorable Mercy Edujemfi of Akwitia constituency, who have heeded to wise counsel and advice and subsume her personal interest to the supreme interest of the party. It's important that we acknowledge that. We can also acknowledge lots of our members of Parliament who lost in the parliamentary primaries. They have even gone ahead to even form an association that are moving around their own constituencies and other constituencies, trying to resolve issues and campaigning for the party. This is exactly what a loyal, dedicated party member behaves, and this is what we expect to see from our members.
Do you at least concede that your request for him to abdicate may not actually materialize before the elections?
That's why we've put it before the Speaker. They will have their process. For instance, per our constitution, you automatically forfeit, so you don't even have to be written to. You yourself must know that you are no longer a member of the party. The Parliament and its rules, they have its own arrangement. That's why we've drawn the attention to Article 97(1)(g) of the Constitution.
And I wonder, what if it doesn't do as you hope it will do under the Constitution?
Well,
would you leave it with the
as
Speaker?
The party will also insist on our rights because the person is not our member anymore and he cannot represent us in Parliament.
And he's not representing you, the MPP. He's representing his people in his constituency.
And he's representing his people on our ticket. That's why the Constitution was clear about that.
Okay. I mean, so this doesn't only affect him. It affects all the other members who tonight have filed already to contest as independent candidates. All of them, you say you revoked.
All other members of our party who goes to support or campaign for them as well.
I see. Does your constitution allow that to happen in terms of extending the sanctions?
Exactly.
But isn't this a reflection on the disunity in your party? With 55 days to your election?
You have 275 constituencies, and we have 169 members of parliament. It is only one person that acted in a manner that has necessitated us to issue those statements.
In the case of the prominent MP you are talking about, but there are several. In Ashanti region, there are several. Not one, not two, not three people who contested in the primary or didn't contest who are unhappy and had gone to file as independents.
Not several.
But definitely not two.
Members of parliament. It's only one throughout the country.
Oh yes, for the members of parliament, we know that.
Some few members who were not satisfied. Some of them even lost the primaries and decided to go independent. And
True.
I think that it's important that we put our feet down on these matters and also give a clear signal to our members that we are a party of discipline, we are a party of rules, we are a party that believe in principles. If you opt to join the party, you must also be ready to accept the constitution of the party that guides all of it.
Are your internal processes democratic and fair enough? Because most of these individuals who are aggrieved and have taken up independent, candidature, say you were unfair to them. You refused to address their concerns, and hence they had no choice than to go independent.
To the best of my knowledge, our internal processes are fair. If you look at the article that allows people to stand on the ticket of the party, we didn't talk about election of parliamentary candidates. We said that it is selection of parliamentary candidates. Then the ultimate authority is the National Executive Committee. We are a party that is set up to win elections as well. If we don't have the right to decide on some of these things, then we must as well not even be a party, be an independent candidate. Anybody who wants to be on the ticket of an independent candidate will just be on that ticket. We have our strategy. That's why we've gone even bend backwards to even have a lot of discussion, backroom discussions with people and all that. All are part of our democratic process, and I think that we've been fair to a lot more of them. There are a lot more of them who, even after they are aggrieved, came around and also decided that they are bona fide members of the party. They want to continue to be loyal to those parties, and they know that their time will definitely come.
So finally tonight, this is on the unfortunate murder of your member of parliament for Infantiman. We are hearing that his wife may have been given the nod as the candidate now for your party going to the 2020 elections. Is that true?
It is to a large extent true. I've been to the constituency several times. The whole constituency leadership and party, the regional setup and the national setup, deem it fit that his wife is the backbone of the husband. She knows the constituency very well, and considering the large support that the husband has and the kind of difficulties that the constituency is going through, a lot more of the constituents think that we should let the wife continue.
So this was this done by acclamation? Was there a formal process? Again, going back to the party's constitution.
Just as I told you, there was a massive consensus at the constituency. There was no dissent at all. Massive consensus at the constituency level, at the regional level, and at the national level. And we've had that discussion. We will formally announce it.
We know that she was also a police officer. Has she resigned her position?
Quickly, she's done so.
Thank you very much. That is the General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, John Boedu. So listen to Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. Now, businessman Alfred Woyome today begged the Supreme Court to set aside the government purchase of some properties belonging to him. He revealed he owns land worth $15.5 million, which was far in excess of the debt he owes the state. He said this land readily available for use in the Volta region. The Supreme Court had earlier ordered government to buy the properties after it had explained the auctioneers were having difficulty selling them. Now, there's some interesting twist to today's happenings in court where Mr. Woyome appeared without a lawyer and insisted he will represent himself. Court correspondent Joseph Akable has the following report.
The Supreme Court in June this year directed government to purchase the businessman's properties. This was after an auctioneer had failed to sell them. Potential buyers were reportedly said to be afraid of purchasing them because they feel these properties may be restored to Mr. Woyome in the future. Minister of National Security Albert Kandapa made this known in a letter dated March 4, 2020 and addressed to the Minister of Justice and Attorney General. The letter made reference to the Supreme Court order to have the property sold. It will be recalled that in July 2019, after years of legal banter over the true ownership of the properties in the case involving the businessman, the Supreme Court directed the auctioning of the assets to defray the 47.2 million cedis debt he owes the state. The properties will result in recovery of about half the outstanding amount. Government is said to have since purchased the properties. Mr. Woyome, who represented himself in court, urged the Apex Court to set this aside. He insisted he had been abused for years and has always wanted to bring this parcel of land to the attention of the AG. He explained it is worth $15.5 million with a lot of potential buyers. He added that the total debt he owes the state is less than $10 million, so the state should listen to him. The panel of justices led by Chief Justice Kwesi Enin-Yeboah said the businessman had had many opportunities to sell the land. They urged him to simply sell them and pay the state what's outstanding. The panel concluded that the request by the businessman that it announced the purchase is not supported by the rules of court and amounts to abuse of the court processes. The case was therefore dismissed.
Joseph Blay filed that report. So listening to Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. To business shortly, but I want to bring you a few of your messages coming through on our WhatsApp console. Many of you are responding to the news today that the members of parliament will get bodyguards to protect them. I want to go through a few for you. This one says, if MPP doesn't refrain, well, this has to do with the MPP story. If MPP doesn't refrain from shielding and protecting some MPs by imposing non-performing MPs, like he mentions a few of their names on the constituents, this trend won't stop. Walanya says, though it is needful to provide the safety and guarantee safety of MPs, the safety of all Ghanaians also matter. It's about time the security agencies in this country sit up and act to give security umbrella covering for all of us. Nikwe in Tama says, so if it is about them, then they immediately seek redress and security solution. God is not asleep, or God is still watching. They must do things right for every citizen to live peacefully with equal rights and justice. Else, no amount of security and human efforts, apart from the true word of God, will last. A man from Kumasi says every Ghanaian needs protection and security, and not just MPs alone. Ordinary citizens also get killed by robbers, and nothing pragmatic happened from the police after the attacks. This one from Sir DJ from Boga says there are lots of insecurity in the country, therefore we need security as a whole, not few individuals. If we provide security for MPs, what happened to innocent mobile money vendors and others? Hassan says self-seeking MPs, they forced us to give them what we, the citizens, do not have. I mean, the security they failed to give us. Numerous ordinary Ghanaians of all walks of life have died in the hands of criminals in this year. Our representatives did nothing or little. One MP died and they are holding us to ransom. Hashtag Ghana, our beloved country, is in trouble forever. A few of your thoughts there. Still ahead here on Newsnight as we prepare for the Joy News and Imani Minority Political Parties debate. We hear from APC flag bearer Hassan Ayariga, who is promising a proper national data system and free education from kindergarten to university.
APC will put in a national data system that will capture details of every Ghanaian.
And then later, we'll hear from the minority side on the back of the decision to give the MPs bodyguards. Business is here with George. Hello, George.
Hi, Evans. And coming up in business, MTN returns to engagement with the regulator after withdrawing significant market player case from the Supreme Court, and Vice President highlights government's commitment to institute measures aimed at firmly stabilizing the economy. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of Business Kingdom. Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you?
Agnes, would you be my girlfriend? Agnes, would you please be my girlfriend? Okay, let's call her.
If you like the caller tune you're about to listen to, press star 1 to copy now.
Express yourself with your caller tune and win big with MTN. Simply dial star 1355 hash and download your favorite caller tune or copy or renew your already existing caller tune and stand the chance of winning up to 1,000 CDs weekly, 4,000 CDs monthly, and the grand prize of 15,000 CDs in the MTN caller tunes promo. Send stars to 1355 or dial star 1355 hash to subscribe today. We're good together. We there for you everywhere you go.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks, and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom, and my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
My buddy, why you for just the watch when you can be wild proper? When you for scream, shout, kata, put your body, get down, fire your body, catch views, drop the mic. Ghana, the time cut will for change the way we watch. Welcome to Showmax and to Chow Online Entertainment, from movies and series to sports like EPL and La Liga. Feel from Super Sport and more. You feel enjoy them on any device, anytime. Visit showmax.com today. Let's slack it.
Joy 99.7 FM, radio for the discerning listener.
Welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, telecoms giant MTN says it is now set to return to engage in the National Communications Authority over its significant market player status. Now, this was after it threw its case at the Supreme Court today after it sought to challenge that earlier ruling by the regulator. We have more in the following Business Text report.
This should mean that the telecoms player MTN will now have to look at engaging the regulatory body on their earlier concerns that they should not be classified as a significant market player in the telecoms industry. Sources say MTN will also be looking at how to engage the regulator to ensure that it is not badly affected in terms of how the National Communications Authority plans to enforce the necessary regulations. MTN in a statement today noted that it was the expectation that this action to withdraw the application at the court will pave the way for further discussions and amicable resolution of the matter, adding that it hopes it will be carried out in the spirit of renewed channels of engagement. MTN had in the past maintained that it had not been treated well in terms of how the National Communications Authority went about the whole reclassification deal. It had also maintained that going ahead with the move will affect them badly in terms of market share and profits. It is not clear for now how the regulator may go about enforcing the status classification of MTN after it decided to withdraw the case from the Supreme Court.
And that is the business tax report. Let's still stay on the industry because MTN Ghana says it is investing about $2.5 billion into monitoring systems to secure mobile money transactions. It also says it is working tirelessly to educate its customers on these mobile money frauds. Speaking to Joy Business on the sidelines of the National Cybersecurity Awareness Program, Manager for Compliance at MTN Ghana, Kwame Tamaklo, said investment shows that they are committed to ensuring that the mobile money is safe and secure. We have details from the following business tax report.
Senior Manager for Compliance at MTN Ghana, Kwame Tamaklo, explains to Joy Business that the public must be conscientized on the operations of mobile money fraudsters.
We are doing what we can within the circumstances. A lot of investment has been put into educating people across the country. We are all over the channels, the digital channels. We are on air, and then we are on the grounds in various villages across the country where our sales team are engaging people and educating them on mobile money fraud. What we are also doing in terms of technical side to ensure that we are enhancing our monitoring system of the transactions on our platform. And so there again, about $2.5 million investment is being made to secure that platform.
Meanwhile, acting head of technical operations at E-Crime Bureau, Evans Mensah, says one major thing stakeholders are doing is to educate the public to protect themselves.
And that was a business tech report about MTN investing about $2.5 million to protect the mobile money transactions. Now, Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Biama has indicated that they are committed to implementing measures that would help firmly stabilize the economy and make it the best in the region. He was speaking to students of St. Monica's cluster of schools in the Ashanti region, where he commissioned 12-unit classroom block and 500-bed capacity dormitory at the school as part of a tour in the Ashanti region. According to the Vice President, they are poised to do more if they are retained into power.
We are thinking ahead. This country, it can be a very great nation and will be a very great nation. We have to make sure that this government continues in office. What we have started, we haven't finished. But by the grace of God, in another 2 to 3 years' time, we are going to see all of these developments coming together, and Ghana will be one of the most modern economies on the face of the African continent. There's no doubt about that in my mind.
Vice President Dr. Mahamadou Biama. Now, Securities and Exchange Commission is optimistic that the new capital requirement for the various players will help boost confidence in the industry. Now, there were fears that the recent collapse of some fund management firms would impact negatively in terms of industry confidence. But speaking to Joy Business Director General Reverend Ogbamitete believes that this new initiative will turn things around.
I believe that this move would have a positive impact on market confidence. It's an aspect of the new licensing guidelines that we have issued, and all put together, I think it will elicit some more confidence in the market. Certainly, higher minimum capital requirements will send a signal that the market operators will be more capitalized for the demands of operating in the securities industry. So I am positive that this is a step in the right direction, and it will complement the reforms that we are embarking on in ensuring a stronger, more vibrant securities industry in Ghana.
Reverend Daniel Ogbamitete is the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission. And that's all for business on Newsnight. Back to you, Evans Mensah.
This Thursday, the minority political parties will face off. Hassan Ayariga, APC, Ivor Greenstreet, CPP, David Apasira, PNC, Bridget Tugbenuku, PPP, Kofi Akpalu, LPG. One night, 5 presidential candidates on one stage in a fierce exchange of ideas in the Joy News and Imani Africa Minority Political Parties Debate, 8 to 10:30 p.m. Thursday, 15th October, live from the UPSA campus, only on Joy News, Joy 99.7 FM, Love 99.5 FM, online at myjoyonline.com, and across our social media platforms.
And the countdown is on. All this week, we're hearing from the candidates who will be doing battle, slugging it out on that stage Thursday evening from 8 to 10:30. And tonight we are hearing from Hassan Ayariga. He is, of course, with the All People's Party, All People's Congress, that's the APC. Well, he's been into our studios today as part of our conversations in the lead up to it, and he's promising to establish a proper national data system.
I always give the MPP less than 40% when it comes to security.
Why?
Because they have not shown the way of how to manage security. They've rather shown another way of how to help distract security. You know what happened when they took over arms of government as a party. Their own party boys called the Delta Forces went ransacking all public offices, taking people out of the offices and putting their own men. Okay, what do you call the Delta Forces went to toll booths, even went to MCC office and sacked people, and put up a structure that have information in a database of every Ghanaian. Will be able to tackle it. APC will put them a national data system that will capture details of every Ghanaian, from your fingerprint, from your facial recognition, from your details where you work, and put cameras all over the country in order to beef up security. Now, there's a difference between issuing a card and having a data.
Card has your data in the system.
No.
Okay, help us understand your data system.
The national data system of the APC is a special database that has features of every Ghanaian, from your workplace, from your blood group, from your fingerprint, facial recognition, the number of cars you have, where you live, the number of wives you have, how many children you have, how many properties you have.
The number of husbands you have too.
I don't know whether you have 10 husbands, or the number of girlfriends, that's your cup of tea. Mm-hmm. But I'm telling you that this is what we want to do.
Well, that's Hassan Ayariga there. Very controversial views, and he's going to be on that stage with the other four presidential hopefuls. There are 5 aspirants in all, one stage in a fierce exchange of ideas on Thursday as your election headquarters in partnership with the Imani Ghana brings you the minority parties debate from the UPSC auditorium from 8 p.m. Don't forget to join us then and participate in our many social media platforms as well, because we're going to be interacting with you throughout that particular program live from the University of Professional Studies on Joy 99.7 FM, the Joy News channel, affiliates across the country, and on Love also in the Ashanti region. Well, tonight the Africa Center for Energy Policy has launched a new program that will expose oil exploration companies who win oil blocks but fail to do the work, hoping to sell it off. This will promote accountability and transparency as it launched the Petroleum Contracts Monitor. Now, the monitor, which is in the form of a website, has contracts awarded within the oil exploration space and the current status of the exploration. Speaking at the launch today, Head of Policy at ASAP, Pauline Anaman, said the Petroleum Contracts Monitor will ensure that companies who acquire oil blocks without exploring will be seen and dealt with by the regulator.
The rationale is to ensure that companies do not hold the blocks for speculative reasons. And that is because we have seen over the years that for contracts that were awarded before 2016, when the EMP Act was passed, most of the contractors held the blocks. There are requirements for the contractors to explore within a certain period. In our laws, it is a maximum of 7 years. And the exploration phase is also divided into 3 sub-phases. We observed that most of the companies held the blocks without doing much work, and nothing happened to them. But the main problem is that we saw blocks laying fallow. And we have also seen how, over the years, some companies have transferred their interest to other companies. So it suggests some level of speculation for some companies. With this contract monitor, we are able to highlight those companies that are not working and report that to the Petroleum Commission, which is the entity that must regulate the sector and ensure that they are working anyway.
Pauline Anaman with the Africa Center for Energy Policy. Now, the governing New Patriotic Party today engaged riders of commercial motorbikes, popularly known as Okada, promising them better jobs and a better life if President Akufo-Addo is retained. The meeting at the Nkrumah Circle was attended by scores of riders. The opposition NDC, of course, has promised to legalize the Okada business, but the MPP says that will be too dangerous. National Youth Organizer of the MPP, Sami Wuku, led a pack of other executives to meet the riders.
Last week, I'm also Munsafre. I'm running a chicken como. But I never buy my ATM. Many a crack young casa. Bambidi and Memba, Nona, yes, Okada, Funa, Dizoma, Baba buy your son of Muno. Nani a memoir, Chester, and the Indian Momonyo calculation. No clear woman said. Ghana Mampenny and Ado Dampo Kufuado. On it, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Baumia also may find Chiakefie Emremo. Now, you put baby say, Onya obey your captain, your way be that.
So that's Sami Wuku there talking to the riders today here at Circle, talking about their track record when they were in government in terms of what he believes to be the ability to fulfill promises they make. Meanwhile, the General Secretary of the National Association of Motor Riders, David Majid, questioned the motive and genuineness of the NDC's promise to legalize Okada business.
Okada, yayache, but ye tumopufra, ye betimaye.
Okada is a business we've done for a long time. But if we get a better job, we'll do. We are doing this Okada business because there are no alternatives. So Honorable Moses Abua is here. Sami Wuku is also here. So we want them to tell us exactly what they intend to do for the youth. Whatever they say here, we want written on paper. If they don't do it, after 2020, we'll show them where power lies. Because we did same to the NDC. In 2016, we were being arrested. So why will we support someone who was arresting us then? We are not animals. We are humans. Mahama said he's going to legalize Okada. Why should we believe him? The MPP says it will create jobs. They said they will give us cars. Today, we want them to tell us the truth. The cars, promises, and everything. The national organizer is here. We want them to tell us what they want to do. If they don't do it, we will head to their offices and demonstrate.
And we can now speak to the Communications Office of the National Democratic Congress on this. Mr. Sami Jemfi joins us on the telephone line right now. Mr. Jemfi, so your opponents, they've been reacting to your promise today by meeting the Okada riders here in Circle. And we heard from the General Secretary of the National Association of Motor Riders, who is questioning the motive and genuineness of the NDC's promise. Does this worry you that you are playing into the space that you've articulated as one of those strong points of yours going to the elections?
Yeah, so what it rather shows is that the New Patriotic Party is panicking over the promise by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to legalize the Okada business. Clearly, they've lost the contest of ideas. They sat in the confines of their plush offices and came up with policies that they thought will address the needs of Ghanaians. But that has failed. We chose a different route. We chose to go to the people, listen to their needs, and come up with policies that can address the challenges they are facing. And that is why the People's Manifesto, since it was launched, has resonated very well with the people of this country, across the country, not just riders of commercial motorcycles, Pragia, and so on. Now, what is the MPP's alternative as the incumbent for young people who ride Okada in this country.
Today they said they'll give them better jobs, give them vehicles instead of
Where
motorbikes.
better jobs means what?
Drive cars and not on a bike of motors.
I mean, that is ridiculous and laughable. And no Okada rider would take that promise seriously. Because even with the Okada, most of them don't have the means to buy it. Most of them are riding Okadas bought for them by people who have the capacity to do so. And so what capacity do they have to buy vehicles instead of motorcycles?
The MPP says the state will finance the cars for them.
We are talking about a business which generates in excess of 1 billion for the Kenyan economy. Benin is doing so well with this commercial motorcycle business. Other countries have excelled in the way they have managed it, and it is creating revenue for the country. We have taken a principled, clear-cut position that there is no justification for the continuous ban of the commercial motorcycle business. And so we are going to legalize it and regulate it to create jobs and to provide a source of, income for these young men. That is what they need now. You need to legalize it first. That is not to say that we are not going to undertake policies and programs that will create sustainable jobs for the young people of this country. We've spoken about Agenda 1 million jobs at Jumapa. We've spoken about skill development, the National Apprenticeship Program. We've spoken about private sector initiatives to create jobs, public sector initiatives to create jobs and all that. But that aside, we've taken a bold, principled, clear-cut decision that it is not right for us to say that, it is okay for Evans Mensah to carry Packer on his motorcycle if Packer is not going to pay anything. But once Evans Mensah asks Packer to pay 10 Ghana cedis so that he can get money to buy fuel, then all of a sudden, the motor riding business becomes too risky and illegal. It doesn't make sense to us. We think that what we should do is to legalize it and regulate it to create jobs and to, like I said, provide these young men who ride these vehicles a legitimate source of earning income. If the MPP doesn't have any credible alternative to this, they should just keep quiet. They've lost the debate already. Nobody is going to take this 419 promise of providing Okada riders with how many vehicles are they going to buy? Do they even know the number of Okada riders in this country? They are in their thousands. So are they going to buy cars for all of them? I mean, this is a fanciful, knee-jerk reactionary promise that every discerning mind can see through, that this is just for votes and nothing more. And so we are optimistic that on the 7th of December 2020, these discerning Okada riders will look at the two political parties, what we are all promising, what we are offering, and we are confident that they will choose our policy position, which is the legalization and regulation of the commercial.
Well, we'll see that. I mean, that's in 55 days. We'll see how that plays out on election day. Let's bring in Baba, who has sports for us tonight. Hello, Babs.
Hi, Evans. And Ghana new boy Tariq Fosu believes that the Black Stars needed a bit more time to gel to secure victory in matches. Ghana beat Asian champions Qatar 5-1 in an international friendly yesterday, 3 days after losing to Mali by 3-0. Tariq Fosu admits the team needed some time to play as a unit.
If you compare the first game, it's our first game with a lot of new players, so I think we needed time to gel and to work with tactically. And I think over the weekend we worked on some things with the gaffer, and we done it really well. And I think in the first half, especially even they had the one chance and they scored, but I think we was very compact, and we didn't give them no space, and I think that was perfect.
The Brentford winger also attributes yesterday's win to the team listening to Coach C.K. Akono's tactical instructions.
I think the win was important. It was very important. I already had set in my head, everyone, the way we approached it, it was a must-win game, and I think we listened to the coach, and tactically we set up really good, and obviously it shows what happens when you listen to the coach and tactically and everything goes well. So I think the win was very important for sure.
That was Ghana new boy Tariq Fosu, who scored 1 of 5 goals from yesterday's friendly against Qatar. You are up to date in the world of sports. You can log on to myjoyonline.com/sports for more updates. My name is Baba Tanda from London.
Baba, thank you very much. Now, President Akufo-Addo has tasked the newly constituted board of the Ghana Land and Maritime Boundary Commission to, as a matter of urgency, work to determine Ghana's land and maritime boundaries in accordance with international law. The commission, established by an act of parliament, is also enjoined to negotiate with countries engaging with land and or maritime dispute with Ghana. Now, inaugurating the board, President Akufo-Addo urged them to be mindful of the interest of Ghana in all the deliberations.
Indeed, we in Ghana for 5 years were embroiled in a maritime border dispute with our western neighbor, Cote d'Ivoire, and the ripple effect on our economy was felt. That is why the reconstitution of the board of this commission is of the utmost importance. The Act mandates the commission, amongst others, to determine and demarcate Ghana's land boundaries and delimit Ghana's maritime boundaries in accordance with accepted principles of international law. Whilst doing so, the Commission must promote a more effective management of the boundary demarcation and delimitation process and adopt international best practices on the demarcation and delimitation of boundaries. In achieving these objects, the Act enjoins the Commission to negotiate with the neighboring country concerning a land or maritime boundary between Ghana and that country, undertake the physical demarcation and survey of land boundaries and the delimitation of maritime boundaries, advise government on international conventions in connection with the country's borders, and the signing and ratification of treaties related to land and maritime boundaries.
President Akufo-Addo there. And that's it for Newsnight tonight. And up next, of course, is the Geek Squad. My friend Old Tom is here. You know, I mean, I had all these schools, bluffing about the NSMQ. And we said, we should just wait for them. We're tired, we just wanted to relax,
Just give them some small,
head start. Next year we'll catch up.
Overtake it.
Yeah, overtake. What's up in Geek Squad tonight?
So, Apple just announced the iPhone 12.
Oh,
yeah, the
when?
new iPhones, like a few moments ago.
Oh, I see.
It just ended.
iPhone 12. But when they release the iPhone 11?
It's an annual event, so...
So every year they have to do something. Even if they don't... That's the one they launched the last time, is the one with the 3 cameras at the back.
Yeah.
This time, what is it?
Same 3
7
cameras.
cameras?
6?
Different
design.
Goodness me.
With
the for Sika Kwa.
And we'll continue our EV conversation from last week.
Yeah, well.
So, yeah.
I mean, I love my simple phone. You know what I mean?
Everybody needs 3 cameras, and some people just need something that just works.
Well, I can't wait to hear what your opinion is on the iPhone 12. You have one already?
No.
Okay, but you're gonna. I thought you've pre-ordered one, and so they should give you one so you can analyze it. Yeah.
They should.
Spikey and his team up next here on Geek Squad on Joy 99.7. Enjoy them.